Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome to Reverse 1999. Now this game is one of the most anticipated games of 2023. Perhaps the last AAA game that we'll have up until next year. So let's talk about this game overall. I do intend to play this when it comes out in 3 more days. Alright, as you can see, based upon the Twitter post. Alright, so we will have 3 more days official launch countdown. Now plenty of things have been announced, so let's talk about everything, and I'm going to give you guys a tier list to hopefully reference and give you guys my plan on reroll as well. So with that being said, let's jump into it. Now first things first, as you can see, a live stream on this game will be happening 1 day before the release on YouTube. So we'll be watching that as well. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitch, right? So there will be 2 live stream hosts if I'm not mistaken. So let's talk about Reverse 1999 as a whole. What is this game all about and why is it so hyped by plenty of players? Now first of all, if you love good story in a gacha, this game has that delivered. Alright, so I have played the beta on my channel before. Definitely really enjoy the quality of the game, the voice acting of the game. There's plenty of things that the game has done right. Now if you are not that interested in story, I can see this might not be that much of an interesting game. Overall, it has a very unique card system mechanic, still a turn-based combat system overall. So if you have played Honkai Star Rail, it's going to be a little bit similar to that, but with a little bit of twist where there's a card RNG that you can combine the cards along the way and try to plan alongside as well. Very strategic in that sense, right? Now, if you guys are not aware, we have already met the pre-registration rewards. As you can see, everyone will be getting a 5-star Matilda, which is a free 5-star character. Now, apparently she is not a very good character. She's a decent character, not bad, but you know, if you intend to reroll, I don't really recommend to build her as much, right? So we're going to talk about rerolling shortly, and also a couple of other things as well. Now let's first talk about reroll. How easy or how difficult it is to reroll in Reverse 1999. Now at the time of me recording this video, the game is not out yet, but based on my beta, the reroll process is quite long, alright? However, they did mention that they're going to basically allow you to skip certain things in their recent developers note. The process is pretty easy. You play through the tutorial, alright? So which is about this chapter right here, about 1-4, somewhere around this chapter, Chicago Rescue, right? Now once you finish this particular chapter, it's going to be the first round of reroll. You are allowed to basically roll on 1 banner. However, this is where it gets tricky, right? You have 1 more banner later on. So you have to play the first tutorial, which is about it took me about 1 hour to reach here actually. It allows you to access everything here, and it allows you to access the first banner. So you basically go to your mailbox, claim everything, right? So again, this is what you're seeing right now is based upon the beta. So there might be less things or more things on the official launch. Keep in mind, the first one is this particular banner right here, as you can see. So let's pause for a bit. You can see 30 summons guarantee a 6-star character. So Reverse 1999 is a little bit unique. There is 6-star and there's also 5 stars. So it's going to be quite similar to Arcanists in that regards. If you guys don't know how Arcanists works, there's 5 stars and there are 6 stars. 5 stars are not necessarily weaker than 6 stars. Alright, they are quite equal in terms of the strength. But ideally 6 stars are the highest rarity that you want to obtain. They are like the UR pretty much. So this first banner, you get Lilia, Eternity, and Regulus. And good news, all these 3 characters are very strong for you early on. Who is going to be the best one? It's hard to say for sure. Now let's look at some reference right here. Alright, so for those of you who are familiar with Prit1, they have a Reverse 1999 tier list as well that you can refer to. I'll have a link to them in the description below. So Prit1 has prepared this particular one. You can see early game, late game, so make sure you toggle it accordingly. So this is the tier list section. There's also a show unreleased characters on CN. You ideally want to toggle off that because it can get very confusing, right? You don't want to look at the characters they are not available to us on global yet. So CN is quite far ahead. They are in version 1.4 right now if I'm not mistaken. So look at this. So early game and late game. So let's just focus on late game for the time being. I'm not sure if you want to build a character just for the early game because resources might not be as much as you think. So the few characters you want to pay attention to in the banner that I show you, Eternity, Lilia, and Regulus. So they are very good damage dealer. Alright, you can see they are all right here. So this character, these first 3 ones, if you can get either one of these, ideally is going to be very good. Now a lot of players have recommended Eternity to be the better one of these 3. Regulus is actually the hardest one to build. Apparently she needs a lot of resources and she only gets strong late game. And I can attest to that because I do have Regulus and Soneto as well, right? And I feel like Soneto was way stronger. Soneto is a free 5-star character that you obtain, right? This girl right here, you obtain her for free in the story. And I do think that she has overall more strength, more prowess. So it does feel like Regulus lacks the firepower early on, but I assume late game, that's where she starts shining a little bit. So Eternity is going to shine in early and late game because she doesn't require as much resource to invest and she functions at a very low level. Now Lilia on the other hand, apparently she has the most damage. Alright, so keep that in mind as well. Lilia is going to be someone that you want to consider as an option. So all these 3 really great characters. So it really doesn't matter who you go for. Like I would say at that point, just pick whoever that you like in terms of the design or voice acting or whatever, right? So that's going to be the first part of the reroll. As you can see, right now I'm showing you the rates. Basic rate for summoning 6-star characters is going to be 1.5%, which is a little bit difficult actually. If you want to reroll, bear in mind you might be doing this for hours, days, weeks, even months for some of you if you are a kid and you need to study, right? So think about it. So it's something that unless you are really committed, 6-star is 1.5%. If you play Nikkei, it's 4%. Blue Archive is 3%. But here is 1.5%. This is going to be hard. So make sure you guys are in for a long day if you are rerolling for this. Now once you roll the first roll, if you get what you want, keep it, and then now we proceed to the next section. So this is going to take a long while. So notice this particular here, chapter 1-11, you ideally want to play until around chapter 1-11. By then you would have achieved account level 5. And once you reach account level 5, you will be able to get more additional rolls, and this is where you will be able to do the second part of the roll, right? So you ideally want to settle the first part first and then settle the second part. If you are someone that's like impatient, you don't have that much time to play, just roll the first part, alright? Just do the fast reroll. Now if you are hardcore reroller or reroll god like me, this is where you got to do the second part, alright? Second part, clear 1-11, reach account level 5, now we can have additional rolls, and this is where you want to go in on another extra banner later on. Ideally, you want to try to get 2 6-star and 2 5-star. I think it's definitely doable. So Druvis 2, the girl that you saw earlier, this girl right here is also a pretty strong candidate as well. So you can consider Druvis 3. Did I say 2? Druvis 3 right here is also a very strong candidate. If you obtain her, I would definitely consider her as an option as well, right? So you ideally wouldn't want to miss out on the strong characters. Now, let's talk about which character should you get ideally, and also the best choice of reroll or what the game ideally entails for you, right? So first things first, you need to understand that the game has multiple different elements, alright, just like any other game. It's going to be a little bit difficult early on. You ideally want to have as many different type of characters or elements as possible. So plant type is one of the elements right here, you can see, and then we have the mineral type, and then there's a star type, and then there is also beast type, alright? And then there's also this light and dark called intellect and spirit, which they are not super useful early on. Ideally early on you want to focus on the 3 elements, which is plant, beast, mineral, and star. I mean those 4 elements for the time being, right? So let's look at this tier list and try to analyze which character ideally is the best one to obtain. Right here you can see in this S rank, all of these characters right here, a combination of these is going to help you a ton, alright? So preferably you have either Regulus, Eternity, and Lilia for your first reroll. And then the second reroll, I highly recommend either Enli or Voyager. Both are very strong characters. I personally will try to get an NLE if possible. Corn Blum is also a very good character, but she's a 5-star. So if you can get her along the way, a combination of this is going to be very interesting. Balloon Party here is also a 5-star. Charlie is also a 5-star, very easily obtainable compared to some of these. Now, this is going to be Pritwen's tier list. I did, however, watch this particular video from a fellow CN content creator right here. This is a very interesting video. I actually watched this for 1 whole hour. Now, this is going to be in Chinese. Now, I understand that not everyone here understands Chinese, which is fair, but he basically make a more detailed explanation explaining which characters are the best to roll for, or best to build rather, in this particular tier list. And I actually find his explanation really interesting. Therefore, I'm going to recommend his tier list as well. Now, keep in mind with this tier list, everyone has their own preferences, everyone has their own priorities, and different people have different opinions, right? So always take it with a grain of salt, right? So Pritwen, maybe they have their own players that have a different criteria in putting certain characters in a tier list. So this guy, I noticed this tier list seems to be pretty decent, plus he provide a lot of very solid explanation along the way as well. I'll link it to you guys this particular video, and this is the tier list that was provided by him. You can see Druid's Tree and Voyager is apparently way higher tier than everyone else, but for Pritwen, it seems like Druid's Tree was placed in the A tier right here. Also, I will give you guys one more resource right here, which is a different website. This one also categorized 3 different ones, alright, 3 different categories that you can refer to in this particular tier list. There are some characters that we don't have yet, but at the end of the day, tier list is going to be always a preference. But you can see Voyager wasn't that high for this tier list, which I am quite surprised. So I've been seeing conflicting opinions about some of these characters. They all seem to fluctuate a little bit, but one thing that I can see, and Enli, she seems to be really strong. Corn Blum, definitely one of the better ones. Charlie, I've seen a lot of people say a lot of good things about her. Same goes for Eternity right here. Lilia and Regulus seems to be, you know, always in either tier 0 or tier 1. So I will leave all the resources in the description below so you guys can refer it yourself and have a better understanding. Hopefully do the comparison and maybe, you know, take your time to just play the game, enjoy the game. Don't focus too much on the tier list first. Make sure the first things first, you gotta enjoy the game, right? So I don't want you guys to be rerolling for hours or even days just to drop the game later on, which has happened to some of us before, right? There we go. These are all the tier lists that I found. Feel free to let me know what you guys think. Now, they did mention that they will have plenty of updates based on the latest developers notes, alright, volume 2. You can see one of the things they mentioned is the ability to skip some of the feature or some of the story and just skip straight to the point. And also, apparently PC client will most likely be available. I hope that's the case. So yeah, we'll have to see. I'll update you guys if there's any changes with the updated reroll guide on day 1. So I'm just releasing this video for now. Hopefully you guys are prepared for it. That's gonna be it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys very soon once Reverse Attendant Night comes out. As always, subscribe, give this video a like. Have a nice day. Goodbye.